Hi, everybody. I'm here to finish up our book that we're reading called The Rotten School series by R.L. Stine, The Big Blueberry Barfa. We have just a few more chapters. I thought maybe I could finish it up today. And we are on chapter 13 called The Horrible Accident. And remember, we have some main characters in our story. We have a main character in our story. His name's Bernie Bridges, and a few of the other characters in our story that are his friends. We have Belzer. Belzer always does everything for him. We have Thieneman and Crinch, and those are his friends as well. And then we have Sherman, who is the one boy who has the amazing watch that Bernie wants to get, and he's trying to figure out a way to do it. So let's go ahead and finish reading our book, and let's see what happens. So we're on chapter 13, like I said, The Horrible Accident. Huh? Looking for me? Jennifer Eck pulled herself to her knees. She wiped grass stains off her hands, and she squinted at me with her one blue eye, one brown eye. Yeah, I was looking all over for you, I said. I pulled a clump of leaves from my hair, and I picked up my glasses. Remember, Jennifer Eck is the girl who likes Bernie, and she ran and tackled him. Is this why you ran so fast? She asked. She stood up and straightened her denim skirt. She had grass stains on those giant knees. I flashed her my famous 5-star 52-tooth dimple grin. Jennifer swooned. Swooned just means she was so happy, and you could see it all over her face. She gave me a dreamy look. The dimples get them every time. Sometimes I push a pencil eraser into my dimples to make them deeper. Why were you looking for me, sweet cakes? Jennifer asked. I started to gag. Please don't ever call me sweet cakes, I begged. It makes my ears sweat. Really, look how they're sweating. Well, why were you looking for me, Bernie? I reached into my pocket for an order form. Would you like to buy a Bernie Bridges t-shirt? They're made out of a rope, but they're very comfortable. Jennifer let out a roar. She lowered her head, rushed forward, and rammed her head into my stomach. Oh, I couldn't breathe. I felt like I'd been hit by a garbage truck, moaning and groaning. I dropped to the ground. I sprawled on my back, struggling to breathe. And Jennifer Eck sat on my chest. Is that a no? I asked. I bought 2 of them, she said. They scratched my skin until it bled. 3 days after I stopped wearing them, I was still itching like crazy. I groaned some more. Get off me, Jen. You're breaking my ribs. I need my ribs. They keep my chest on. Jennifer didn't budge. I'll make you a deal, Bernie. A deal? I'll get up if you take dance lessons with me at the Student Center Saturday night. I choked. Dance lessons? With you? Bernie, why are you stuttering? Because I think it's a great idea, I said. Dance lessons with you. Awesome. Jennifer let out a squeal. She jumped to her feet. Really? You want to do it? Holding my aching stomach, I stood up slowly. Excuse me. Yeah, only I can't do it, Jen. I can't dance. I may never dance again. I lowered my head sadly. I forced some tears to drip from my eyes. Jennifer Eck gazed at me. Why, Bernie, she cried. What's wrong, sweet cakes? My knees, I said. I started to stagger and stumble around, pressing my knees together. See how I'm walking? Isn't this terrible? I hurt my knees. It's a horrible skiing accident. She squinted at me. You ski? Well, yeah. And I was caught in an avalanche. A huge snowdrift fell on my knees. 2 tons of solid ice. My knees were still frozen stiff. I haven't been able to dance ever since. I staggered around some more. Oh, honey bunch, that's so sad, Jennifer cried. She tried to wrap me in a hug, but I ducked away. She glanced at her watch. Oh no, I'm late for cooking class. We're getting ready to make cakes. I know, I said. Hey, Jen, do you know any way I could get Miss Manella to bake pies instead? She squinted at me. Bake pies? I nodded. If I tell you how, Bernie, will you take the dance lessons with me? Sure, I said. Dance lessons, no problem. I didn't really hear myself. I was thinking about blueberry pies. Jennifer smiled at me. Just ask her, that's all. That's your big idea, I cried. Just ask her? No way. She'll know it's for one of my schemes. She's much too smart for that. She's much too smart to do anything I ask. Not true, Jennifer said. Sally Manella is a pushover. She's totally soft-hearted. Last week, a kid started crying his eyes out because he missed his mother's hamburgers. So guess what? We all made hamburgers. My brain started hissing and steaming again. Crying, huh? Crying worked for her. Yes, crying always works for Miss Manila. Gotta run, sweet cakes. Jennifer took me by surprise. She grabbed my head and planted a kiss on my forehead. Eck! I took off, running to the dorm to wash it up. So there's a picture. And we are on chapter 25, Blueberry Pies. I have a feeling that he's going to get his blueberry pies. Okay, Chipmunk, here she comes, I whispered. We were huddled outside the classroom kitchen. Chipmunk sat on the floor with his head in his lap. I saw Miss Manila coming down the hall. Okay, start crying, I said. Make it look good, Chipmunk. Don't forget to sob real loud and move your shoulders up and down. Chipmunk started to whimper. Nope, no good, I said, shaking him. No whimpering, crying, sobbing. Sobbing means like you're crying really hard. Hurry, get going, make it look good, dude. Chipmunk started to sob, shaking his shoulders up and down. Miss Manila trotted up to us. Why, good afternoon, Bernie. How are you all today? She has a very soft voice and speaks in a sweet southern drawl. I'm fine, I said, but I pointed to Chipmunk sobbing his heart out. Oh, my goodness, Miss Manila exclaimed. What's wrong with your friend, she asked. It's because of his birthday, I said. Here's some pictures. It's because of his birthday. His birthday is coming and his mom always bakes him blueberry pie for his birthday. It's the first year he won't have one. I nudged Chipmunk in the back and he let out some really loud sobs. He kept his head down, weeping hard. Miss Manila shook her head. I think I have an idea, she told me. She turned to my sobbing friend. Chipmunk, don't cry, she said. We were going to bake chocolate cakes for the school bake sale, but forget that. I'll go buy a bushel of blueberries, and I'll have everyone in my class bake a blueberry pie. She patted his quivering shoulders. God, cheer up, Chipmunk, she said. We'll bake 25 blueberry pies tomorrow, and you can come choose one for your birthday. I grabbed Chipmunk by the back of the neck and pulled his head up. Look, he's smiling already, I said. You've made him so happy, Miss Manila. She smiled, too. Well, that's just wonderful. I'd better get to the store and buy all of the blueberries. Yes, definitely. Go to the store, I said. A grin crossed my face. Yes, 25 pies. That should be about right. I felt my wrist. It started to tingle. Whoa, of course my wrist was tingling. Tomorrow night, I'll be wearing the watch on that wrist. Chapter 15, Eat Pie. The next night, we waited till midnight. Then we snuck out of the dorm. Belzer, Feynman, and Crunch, Chipmunk, Beast, and a bunch of other Rittenhouse guys followed me to the schoolhouse. It was a cold, windy night. No moon or stars in the sky. I knew I wasn't shaking from the cold. I was shaking with excitement, and my wrist was tingling stronger than ever. We trotted across the great lawn. When we passed the statue of Ivy Rotten, I touched his bright red nose for good luck. Sherman and Wes Upgood and the gang of other kids were waiting for us at the schoolhouse door. Belzer opened the door for us and we crept inside. The building was dark except for a few dim ceiling bulbs. No one said a word as we climbed the stairs to the classroom kitchen. The only sounds were the scampering of mice over the floor and a thud of our shoes on the concrete steps. I could smell the blueberry pies from the hallway. Yes! We pulled open the doors, clicked on the overhead lights, and there they were. The pies were lined up on the long table against the wall. They were covered in aluminum foil. The room smelled so sweet. I stood in the middle of the room sniffing with my eyes shut, a big smile on my face. I felt a tap on my shoulder. Sherman Oaks stood next to me. Bernie, stop sniffing, he said. We have to start the contest. How's your back? Are you ready to start carrying me to class? Wes and Beast pulled up a table. Belzer started to pile blueberry pies on top of it. I'll show you a little picture here. All the blueberry pies. Sherman, you know this isn't fair, I said. I don't stand a chance with Beast. Let me pick someone else for the contest. Sherman shook his head. No way, he replied. It's Beast against Wes. I'm begging you, I said, putting my hands together. Let me eat pies instead of Beast. Sherman frowned at me. Forget it, slave. It's Wes against Beast. He waved the watch in my face. If you're a good slave, Bernie, maybe I'll let you touch the watch for a few seconds. Then he walked off laughing. I chased after him. Sherman, let's call the contest off, I said. Come on, dude, be fair. He shook his head again. Bernie, it was your idea, remember? Stop stalling. Let's see some pie eating. Okay, you heard me. I gave Sherman every chance, didn't I? I was playing fair. I gave him a chance to back out, but now the watch was mine, all mine. I walked over to Beast. He sat behind the table, hunched over the largest blueberry pie. He looked a little weird, even for Beast. He was breathing hard, his eyes bulging. Drool was running down his chin. Take it slow at first, I whispered. Don't eat 20 pies in one gulp. Let Wes Upgood think he has a chance. I turned to the crowd. Okay, listen, everyone, I shouted. Let's start the contest. 1, 2, 3, eat pie! Chapter 16, The Big Barf-Off. Wes Upgood raised the first pie to his mouth. Sherman and his Nice House pals cheered him on. Go, Wes! Go, Wes! You go, Wes! Eat pie! You're the nice guy. Wes opened his mouth wide and took a big bite. He made a loud noise as he swallowed. Then he pushed the pie to his face and chomped down hard on his second bite. What's up with Beast, I wonder? Beast stared at the pile of pies. He didn't pick one up. He just stared. Beast! Beast! Yo, Beast! All of my Rittenhouse buddies cheered. But Beast ignored the cheers. He just sat there gazing at the stack of pies. Wes made disgusting swallowing sounds as he finished his first pie. The Nice House crowd was going wild. Wes grabbed the second pie of his pile. He jammed it into his face. He was 2 pies ahead of Beast. He was reaching for his third pie, and Beast just sat there. Time out, I shouted. Time out. My heart was doing flip-flops in my chest. I ran up to the table. I shook Beast by the shoulder. Wake up, I cried. The contest started. What are you doing? Start eating. Beast grunted. I have a problem, Bernie. A problem, I said. What kind of problem? I'm not hungry, Beast said. That's no problem, I said. Don't stuff yourself. Just eat 15 pies. That should be enough to win. You don't get me, he said. I'm not hungry. Sherman bet me I couldn't eat 50 cheeseburgers at dinner. I won the bet. I ate 54 cheeseburgers. Now I'm feeling kind of stuffed. Sherman bet you? I cried. Where is he? I'll kill him. He's a cheater, a total cheater. Beast let out a huge burp that sent my glasses flying off my face. He had terrible cheeseburger breath. I felt a tap on my shoulder. Sherman stood beside me. Is there a problem? He asked. Yes, I said. These pies are not the right size. They have an 8-inch diameter. The pie eating rule book says that all pies must have a 12-inch diameter. We'll have to hold the contest some other time. Sherman shook his head. Bernie, you want out because you know you don't stand a chance. Beast rubbed his bulging stomach. I have a stomachache, he moaned. I couldn't believe it. All that scheming, all that planning and thinking, and now I was going to lose. From now on, the only time I'd ever see Sherman's watch was when I carried him to class in the morning. But I have no choice. No way I could back out now. I was defeated, doomed. Okay, I sighed. Let's keep going. Suddenly, an idea flashed in my mind. Beast, start eating, dude, I whispered. If you eat 20 pies, I'll buy you a Snickers bar for dessert. Beast raised his head. Snickers bars are his favorite. Can I have 2, he asked. 2, I said. Just eat. The contest started again. Beast grabbed up 3 pies at once and shoved them into his face. They disappeared in seconds. His face was covered in purple blueberries, dripped from his hair and down his shirt. He grabbed 2 more pies and shoved them into his open mouth. Grunting, smacking his lips, Beast finished the first stack of pies. Belzer ran over carrying another stack. Beast opened his mouth in a powerful blueberry burp that knocked 2 kids over and peeled some of the wallpaper off the wall. Then he dug into the second stack, slurping and grunting as he ate. Blueberries poured down his shirt, his pants into his shoes. His whole face was stained purple. The juice puddled around the table. He shoved pie after pie into his mouth and didn't bother to swallow. Oh no, Sherman was slapping himself on the head. Oh no, he did it to me again. Bernie did it to me again. Sherman slapped himself again and again. Sherman knew he was a loser. He knew the watch was mine. Score one more victory for good guys and Bernie beat. Wes Upgood kept trying. He picked up his third pie. He started to shove it into his mouth, but he suddenly stopped. The pie fell from his hand. He stood up. His face was bright purple. His eyes bulged. Oh, he let out a groan. He grabbed his stomach with both hands. He opened his mouth and barfed blueberry gunk all over the table. Wes heaved again and again, sending up waves of blueberry pie. Some of the Nice House kids were standing too close. Wes spewed a gusher of blueberry barf all over them. Kids ducked and ran for cover. The Rittenhouse guys kept on cheering, Beast, 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 because he wouldn't stop. Here's a picture of Wes. Oh, that doesn't look very good, does it? Beast just kept shoving pies down his throat. He didn't stop until all 25 pies were gone. Sherman slapped himself in the head a few more times. Bernie did it to me again. He did it to me again. He kept repeating. With a long, sad sigh, he slid the watch off of his wrist and handed it to me. Then he bowed his head and slunk away. Mine, mine. I held the watch up. I let my friends touch it. Wes Upton was bent over double. He was groaning and moaning. He was covered from head to foot in blueberry bark. Two of his friends started to carry him from the room. Beast, 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 the cheers continued. Beast stood up to take a bow and fell face down into the pile of blueberry bark on the floor. He didn't move. I slid the watch onto my wrist. It fit perfectly. I liked the feel of gold against my skin. Good work, dudes, I started, but I stopped when I heard footsteps. Footsteps? Yes, echoing in the hall. Rapid footsteps moving closer. We all froze as the door swung open. Miss Manella, I cried. What are you doing here? Chapter 17, Busted. Miss Manella let out a cry. April, May, June stepped in behind her. She gasped and clasped her hands to the sides of her face. Well, goodness gracious, this sure is enough. Looks like some kind of crazy party. What are you all doing in here? Miss Manella demanded. Her eyes wide, she gaped at Beast, face down in the thick purple pile of pie. She saw Wes heaving up some more blueberry bark onto the floor. Gross! What a disgusting mess! April May cried. Where are all the wonderful pies? Miss Manella asked. What have you done with the lovely blueberry pies? I gave her my cutest, most dimply smile. Well, we had a little contest, I said. You know, a little birthday party to cheer up Chipmunk. But where are all the pies? Miss Manella asked again. She raised her hand to her forehead. I guess she was feeling dizzy. The pies, Bernie? Where are the pies? Well, remember I told you those pies were for the school bake sale, Miss Manella said. We were going to sell the pies and give all the money to the homeless kids, April May said. Gulp, gulp, gulp. I swallowed hard. The homeless kids? Miss Manella's face turned angry. Who is responsible for this, she asked. I'm afraid he'll have... Oh, there's a picture. As she does not sound very happy. You'll have to come with me to the headmaster's office. It was all Bernie's idea, Sherman said. I tried to talk him out of it. I told him he was breaking all the rules. I begged him, but Bernie wouldn't listen to me. Uh-oh, a bad moment for Bernie. Think fast, Bigby, think fast. Wait, I said, I have something for the homeless kids. This is better than a bake sale. I pulled off the watch and held it up. This watch is worth $500. I'm donating it to the homeless kids. My hand shook as I handed it to Miss Manella. I watched the gold disappear as she wrapped her hand around it. Gone, gone forever. Why, thank you, Bernie, she said. That's so wonderful and generous of you. Now start cleaning up this classroom before I pound you. And here's a picture. I don't think he's too happy about the fact that he has to give his watch away. Chapter 18, Dance Lessons. We found mops and buckets in the supply closet and started to wash up the piles and puddles of blueberry gunk. Dazed, I swished the mop back and forth, but I didn't see the floor. All I saw was the watch. I had it in my hands for less than a minute. Tragic, tragic. I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned to see Belzer behind me. He had a worried look on his face. Bernie, you're standing in the bucket, he said. I glanced down and saw my shoe in the bucket. My pants leg was covered in purple goo. I felt too bad to move it. Feynman and Crunch came over. Feynman slapped me on the back. Cheer up, Big B, he said. Here's a picture. Grinning, we won the pie eating contest. Yeah, we beat those nice house bums, Crunch said. I looked at my three buddies one by one. Did any guy ever have better friends in the world? You're right, I said, stepping out of the bucket. We did win. We won the contest. Rotten house rules, nice house lost, big time. We all cheered and pumped our fists in the air and slapped one another a lot of high fives and did the secret Rotten House handshake. Shut up and mop, Miss Manella said. The next night, I wandered to the student center thinking hard. I needed a plan, a new scheme to take my mind off of that watch. I was thinking so hard I didn't even see April May come up to me. She grabbed me by the shoulders and shook me to get my attention. She smiled at me. Bernie, when you gave that watch away last night, that was the most generous thing I ever saw in my whole life, she said. Maybe you're not totally a scheming, selfish, egomaniac creep after all. A compliment! Do you believe it? A compliment from April May? The dance lessons are just starting, April May said. She took my hands and started to pull me down the hall. Come on, let's take them together. Yes! Victory! Victory! Who needs a stupid watch? Bernie is king again. We walked about 4 steps. Then I heard a shout from behind me. Then I heard the thunder of running footsteps. I cried out as strong arms wrapped around me and someone tackled me hard from behind. Oof! I fell flat on the floor on my stomach. I whipped around and stared up at Jennifer Eck. There you are, sweet cakes, she guessed. Time for our dance lessons. You promised, remember? Let's go. She swung me over her shoulder and carried me down the hall, screaming, You're mine, all mine. April May stood frozen in the hall with her mouth hanging open. Bernie, she called. I can turn the last page there. Bouncing off Jennifer Eck's big shoulder, I sadly watched April May fade into the distance. April May, I shouted, I have one question I want to ask you. A question? What is it? She shouted back. Would you like to buy a t-shirt? And there's a picture. And he wasn't going to be able to go to the dance lessons with April May. So that is the end of the first book from the Rat in School series, The Big Blueberry Barf-Off. And I hope you liked that book. I thought it was really funny. There is a series, like I said, and here's a sneak peek into book number 2. It's called The Great Smelling Bee. Here's a little picture. So maybe if you would like to read the second one, you can see if you can find the second book, maybe at the library when they open or something like that. So I hope you enjoyed this book, boys and girls, and have a great day. Thank you.